Hello, everybody. How's it going? Happy Catterday. Happy Catterday, you guys. How are you? Can you guys hear the music still with me talking? I'm going to turn that down just a smudge. Thank you so much, FP, for the resub. And Dubs coming in with 2 resubs right in a row. Holy moly. You know what that means. Let's go here. Hi, guys. How's it going? Actually, let's go here first. Big Cam. Hi. Happy Catterday, you guys. I put this over here because obviously not prepared. My queen. Hi, Thombert. How are you guys? This is our February subs, because remember we're doing a February mug. So we've got FP and Dubs. Thank you guys so very much for the resubs. I appreciate that very, very, very much. Hi, Terry. Good morning, you guys. So far, so amazing. And the mug will include current subs as well, so not just resubs or anything like that. This list is actually very long. It's not going to fit on here. Hi, you guys. Happy Catterday. Welcome. I forgot I turned up the gain in the microphone, so I don't have to be up here and be talking. So also, of course, I have like cat hair floating around my face. Had to get some snuggles in before the show today. Welcome, you guys. Happy Catterday again. Hello. Thank you for being here. Hi, FP. Hi, Muffins. Hi, Terry. Hi, Thombert. Hello, Dubs. Who else did I see? Oh, DJ. Hi, DJ. Who else is here? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Today is going to be a very special, exciting cast. I did this last year, but now this year I have way more knowledge for you guys. I have way more experience. I'm realizing I left my coffee in the other room, so I'm a little bit upset about that. That's okay. That's all right. I'm like, I should have thought about that before I came in here and did what I was doing. How is everybody today? Welcome in again. Thank you so much. Yeah, laying down the kitty knowledge. Lots more knowledge this year than last year. I'm going to switch my headset to the back so we can get no strings here. Look, Ma, no strings. Except for all of the other wires are on top of it, and so there we go. You've been scoping out houses this morning with your roommate. We found one hashtag, there's no hashtag there, but one step closer to doing some kitten fostering. Yes! That's so exciting to hear, Terry. That's so cool. Good for you. It's all about finding a place that, like, right now I live in an apartment, so, and we'll talk about all that, but I live in an apartment, so there's, like, no way I could bring extra cats in here, but whenever I have a place that doesn't, like, whenever I have a place that's not, like, super strict about, what am I saying? Super strict about animals, I will definitely be getting in on that fostering game for sure. But it's kind of tough when you live in a place that doesn't really like allow you to just bring animals in. I don't know. Nature finds a way. It's very true, Thombert. Very, very true. The apartment has been the biggest barrier. He's okay with cats. I'm okay with his dog. Got it. Makes sense. That's so exciting. I'm so excited for you, Terry. That's so cool. definitely keep me updated. Excited for me to be there so I can be able to help kitties there. Yes, and that's also something I'm going to talk about today too. That's amazing. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Today, I made this presentation last night. I don't know if, oh, there we go. I was going to say, I don't know why it's showing my toolbar there, but I made this little presentation for you guys. I will be turning it into a PDF guide for you, but I'm going to do some altering of it, of course, because right now it's basically set up for today's cast. So I will mold it into a bit of a fostering guide. I also have got to my left here Kitten Ladies Orphan Kitten booklet. You can actually download this free for yourself at kittenlady.org/getting started. And it's her guide to fostering orphan neonatal kittens. It's actually a very great guide. So a lot of what you will see in my guide today is not only from my own research, from my own experiences, but also very much inspired by some of Kitten Lady's knowledge as well. So yeah, orphan kittens. This is what we're on about today. So yeah, there is that. So welcome. Share the tweet, share the love. Doggy means I can socialize with kitties, dog interactions, and get dogs. It's a win-win, Terry. It's a win-win. That's amazing. Very amazing. Very amazing. Also, you guys, I'm wearing my new glasses today for the computer. My eye doctor said don't stand up or else I would get nauseous. So far, I'm not nauseous. I've been standing up all day. Yesterday at work, too. But I can see things, and it feels so nice. It feels so good to be able to read words. I'm just going to make the font bigger on the stream chat. All right, you guys. So welcome to the presentation today. This is The Art of Kittens, a guide to neonatal kitten care. So if you are tuning in to learn a little bit about fostering, how to take care of neonatal kittens, this is the stream for you. Even if you're just here to hang out with everybody and you have no interest in fostering, but you want to gain some knowledge, awesome. Everyone's welcome. Even if you're just here lurking and you're like, I don't care about any of these things, I'm just here for the stream. Welcome. Happy Catterday. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I will be uploading this to YouTube as well for some folks who don't have Twitch and wanted to see the presentation. So there's that. Thank you for being here, and congratulations on deciding to foster and be an advocate and a lifesaver to tiny neonatal orphan kittens. It's gonna be overwhelming, it's gonna be tiring, you're gonna want to cry, you're gonna want to give up, but don't give up. Stick with it. It's rewarding, it's exciting, you're saving lives, and you're literally giving little kittens a chance at a full life in a forever home, who may not otherwise have it if it weren't for you. So thank you so much for making that decision to foster and or volunteer and or get involved in some way. So thank you. So my goal today, you guys, is to provide you all with knowledge and confidence to go out and foster or volunteer or get involved in some way to help save the tiniest felines. So felines, felines, not felines. So by the end of today's cast, for those of you who are interested and are here to learn and are wanting to do this, I think that this is going to be a great little introduction to fostering. It's going to give you some kind of foundation to go off of and do this. So super exciting. I'm very excited to be doing this. Like I said, I'm going to place this on YouTube so that it's there. And then at some point I want to probably re-record this, but in a more professional way, and maybe not via live stream on Twitch. So that's that. Couple disclaimers for you guys in the bottom right hand side. I like to point this out because I don't want to be that person. I'm not a vet. I'm not a professional veterinarian. Although I wanted to go to vet school and be a vet tech, that didn't work out, and I think for reasons. But I have no veterinarian advice to give you. While I can tell you about specific things or give you tips on things you can maybe try or do, I'm not taking the place of your vet. So if you need immediate medical assistance for your animal, or you have questions regarding medical things for your animal, please talk to your vet about it. They're going to know your animal better than I am. I don't even know what your animal looks like. I can't diagnose it. I'm not trained to be able to do that. So there's that. The second is with chat. I just wanted to quickly say I probably won't be as engaged in chat as a normal stream as I would be throughout the presentation for presentation's sake. So for me, this is very much a learning opportunity for you, as if I am in front of you guys in a place and you're sitting in front of me, but you're not. You're in your comfort of your pajamas at home, probably sipping your coffee. So I really want it to kind of be a more professional type of atmosphere. I bet I will engage in chat in some aspects, but just not in the normal way that some of you regulars are probably used to. Q&A, I'm going to do questions at the very end of the stream. Moderators, aka Muffins, who's here today with us, will be grabbing those questions and then fielding them back to me at the very end of the stream. So if you do have questions throughout, please, by all means, throw them in the chat, ask away, and we will answer them and go over things kind of at the end. So don't hold your questions until the end unless you want to, up to you, but feel free to throw them in chat if I stop and answer something cool. If not, I'll definitely go over it at the very end. So just something like that. So topics today, you guys, let's jump into it. Obviously, we're here to, Targan, another moderator in the chat to throw your questions at. Making some food, heck yeah, that's amazing. Hello, Targan, welcome in. So today's topic, kitten care. Obviously, we're going to talk about some supplies. I'll give you a quick short list of supplies, but also tell you where you can go get other supply lists and things. So again, this is a general quick base foundation to get started into fostering. And so yes, I don't have a full list of things, but I will give you a general foundation supply list. Resources will basically kind of be throughout the entirety of the presentation. I don't have like a slide here that's like, go look here, but you'll hear me say, go to this website, or you can check out this place to get these things, that kind of thing. Anyway, so there's that. We'll also kind of talk about fostering and volunteering, and not necessarily any order. It's probably going to be here in just a second where I mention that. How am I doing, Effie? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm doing very well today. I'm very excited to be talking about kittens and neonatals, and I'm feeling so much more confident about it this year than I did last year, and I can't wait to get back into the kitten nursery this year. So, hello! Hi, welcome. My name is Kate, or Lady Orange, as you guys know me here on Twitch. For those of you that don't know me, and this is maybe your first time here, hi, I'm Kate. I typically stream music here at twitch.tv/Lady Orange. That is Lady_Orange. Those are for your YouTube folks that may stumble upon this on YouTube. But yeah, I usually stream just music, but I also have a huge passion for neonatal kitten care and neonatal kitten advocacy and rescue, as well as animal rescue, of course. I can't not think about other animals, but my focus and my expertise, as in the baby steps that it is in neonatal kittens. A little bit about me in terms of that passion rather than the streaming side of things, because you guys know all about my music. I got started. I've always loved animals, and I've always been an advocate, and I've always been someone who loves cats. I absolutely love cats. Sorry, dog people. I love dogs, but not in that same way as I do cats, of course. So in 2016, when I was living in Kentucky, I stumbled upon Kitten Lady. She is someone who I've talked about before, who's a huge inspiration to what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I am doing today. And when I found her on Instagram, I think it was through an article that was being shared on Facebook. And at first I thought it was just this cool lady who was calling herself the Kitten Lady because she was like, just had all these kittens, these little baby kittens with her at all times. And I was just like, oh my God, I want that life. Oh, I wish I could do that. But through following her and keeping up with her social media, I quickly realized that Kitten Lady is actually doing something much larger than just taking cute kitten pictures, and it's saving and fostering and providing a life for neonatal kittens. Stream elements, really, right now? Muffins, I don't know if you can edit that. For those of you on YouTube that are watching this and are not in Twitch chat, I have channel timers that provide links to my music. And that are on. So I don't know, Muffins, if you can edit that or not, but if you can, turn that off. If not, it's okay. Anyway, back to it. So I quickly saw what she was doing and was very much inspired by it. But at the time, realized I can't really foster any kittens where I'm living. I'm getting ready to move to Arizona, so I can't really too much get involved here. So I quickly started looking through things and researching how I can get involved, what I can do when I move here to Arizona. And I happened to be watching one of her talks that she was giving, where she mentioned that Arizona has a kitten nursery at the Humane Society here. And immediately I was like, stop, get out of here. I'm so excited. We have a kitten nursery. There's a literal kitten nursery. For those of you that don't know what kitten nurseries are basically what you might think of what they sound like. I mean, the name kind of explains it, but most animal shelters who have the resources and have the means to create kitten nurseries generally make these, places where they are bringing in neonatal kittens up through, adoption age to take care of them and, give them the care that they need prior to getting them out for adoption. So, I mean, it's basically self-explanatory, kitten nursery. And so in the time that the Arizona Humane Society has had the kitten nursery, the rate of euthanasia in neonatal kittens has gone down by 80%, which is amazing. And so I was like, done. That's where I need to be. This is my place. I'm going there. So immediately put in, to volunteer at the Arizona Humane Society, and quickly was told that the kitten nursery doesn't open yet until March. And this was back in January when I first started volunteering with them. And I was like, what? The kitten nursery isn't open all of the time? Why? And it's because of kitten season, and we'll talk about what kitten season is in here in just a minute. But so I started with the adoptions and hanging out with the big cats, but as soon as the kitten nursery opened, I was all over it, and it's amazing. It was the first time walking into the kitten nursery was like I was like, have I died and gone to heaven? Is this happening? This is my life. This is amazing. And you walk in, and it's quiet, and we had ambient music playing, and you hear these little soft meow, meow, little mews, and you see people feeding them, and you're just like, my heart is exploding into a million pieces right now. It's not all fun and games, and it's not all glorious. So while that sounds beautiful and amazing, and it is, it's also really hard work, and it's also tiring and exhausting, and it's not for the faint of heart. There are things that happen. and things that are out of your control that happen. So, you know, it is what it is, but it's a great thing. And a lot of places do have kitten nurseries. Not every state with their humane societies probably have them, but they are, they're happening, you know, more and more resources as, you know, as the resources are coming in for shelters, they're able to do this and they're able to provide that for neonatal kittens, which is awesome. So that's my experience in terms of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and the hopes for my future with animals and kittens is to become a humane educator with focusing on neonatal kittens, that population, and their kitten care and providing knowledge and resources and training and that kind of thing. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to educate the public, because knowledge is truly power. Knowledge is going to help save more lives. It's going to, you know, my goal is to achieve no kill in my lifetime, you know, and so by making you guys more aware and giving you guys the tools to do it and giving myself the tools to do it, we can all work together to make that happen. So that is my hope. As you guys know, I'm hoping to move to Canada with FP at some point. Hello, Mr. Coconuts. Welcome in, my brother. Welcome in, King of the Nerds there. Thank you guys so much. Find a seat. Welcome. And in Quebec province and FP, feel free to correct me if I am saying any wrong things here, but the way they view animal care and the way they view saving animals is very different than it is here in America. And there is a true need there for knowledge, and I am so excited to develop that in the time that I'm here, to take it with me. In fact, the guide that I've got here that you are watching and seeing, I'm gonna get that, you know, developed and everything. And I'm also going to translate it into French at some point with FP's help, of course. Well, no, it's not everybody, but there is an issue. And I want to help people learn that are truly willing and wanting. So that's kind of where I'm hoping to be in the next few years, and whatnot, and traveling and helping people get resources and whatnot. So that's a little bit about me. Inspirations, of course, as you know, Kitten Lady is a huge inspiration of mine. I follow the Community Cats podcast, which is a great resource. Not only do they talk about community cats, which are free roaming cats in your neighborhood that you've probably seen running amok, but living life gloriously, hopefully ballless and flawless, as they say. Speaking of ballless and flawless, Catman of West Oakland, who is an amazing person, he helped start the first cat cafe in America, in West Oakland, California. He also takes photos of the community cats and puts them on calendars, hoodcats.org. All of that merch proceeds go to the TNR program of West Oakland. Let's see, Bruno and Boop. You can find her on Instagram. She is mom to Bruno and Boop, who were former fosters of Kitten Lady. She makes some really cool crocheted kitten baskets that you can get for your cat and help, help save lives doing that too. She just recently started a Instagram for her cat Frida, who unfortunately passed away due to serious traumatizing complications of injuries. So she's very much an active participant in advocating for special needs kitties. Go Chloe Go on Instagram. You should check her out. Chloe is also a former foster of Kitten Lady who has the best dangles, as they say. She's paralyzed in her back legs due to an unknown injury as a kitten that has rendered her completely paralyzed. And so she's awesome. She's a cute little kitty. But anyway, I also draw inspiration from you guys and people who are out there doing it and living it and helping take care of cats. So thank you for doing those things. Yeah. let's get into it. Boom. Consider it. I love my little pun here. Consider it. Do you guys get it? Consider it. So when you decide to foster, there's a lot of things that you are going to want to think about. I am saying, yeah, just do it. Go for it. Make it happen. But you also have to think about some things, living spaces is definitely one of those things in terms of where, if you're living in a place that doesn't allow animals to come in freely and you have to like pay rent for them, that kind of thing, probably not going to want to sneak little kittens into your apartment. Excuse me. Unless you have an apartment where, they don't really check on you as often and you can sneak little kittens into your apartment. Trust me, you could do it. But don't get in trouble. I don't want anyone getting evicted because they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to sneak kittens in. And whatnot. So, think about that. If you live in a place where you can do whatever you want and bring whatever kind of animal you want in, then go for it. In terms of space, neonatal kittens do not require much space at all whatsoever. Kittens from 0 days old up to probably 3 weeks. I mean, you can tell when they're starting to kind of outgrow little things like this. All you need is this. And we'll talk about this in just a second. This is a clear plastic tub. It's got some supplies in it. Literally, if I had a little neonatal kitten, I could put her in this tub, and that's it. That's all I need. Done. Look at this. Compared to all of this space, I have so much room for neonatal kittens right now. So you could get one of these. You could get a carrier for her, as long as it's a warm, dry, safe place. Typically away from a lot of foot traffic in your home. You got it. You have the space. As they start to grow up, a little bit older, 4 weeks and up, a small playpen in a spare bedroom away from your, family pets. And you're golden. You can, as long as you can fit a little litter box in there and food, water for them, you're good. And they only need a place to crash until they're 8 weeks and 2 pounds. So that's how much space they require. Time. This is the part that can get some people. Neonatal kittens are very, very much 24/7 gig. They require around the clock, instant, intensive care. They need to be fed every 2 hours, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, depending on how big they are, and how much they're gaining weight, that kind of thing. Or if there's extra things that are happening, maybe medical issues where you're, constant, really driving in some care there. And so keep that in mind. However, if you're worried about waking up through the middle of the night because you have a full-time job, maybe you have a spouse or a significant other that can help take on the duties of waking up every couple of hours with you to help feed. As long as some of you guys are getting rest, then awesome, perfect. It only requires a few minutes of your time in the middle of the night to feed them, help them go pee and poop, and then put them back to sleep, and then you get to go back to sleep. And that few minutes helps them thrive for the rest of their life. So that's time. I know there's work things involved. You can talk to your job to see if maybe they're okay with you bringing these kittens or kitten in a small carrier that you can put under your desk, as long as it's, you've got warm things in there for them. They sleep pretty much most of the day, unless when you wake them up, sometimes they're mad at you and they'll meow and meow and meow until they get a full belly and then go back to sleep. And then as they grow older and they're going to be more awake, they're going to be more active, they're not going to be needing to be fed every 2 to 3 hours. Maybe you have a friend that you can have them cat sit during the day at work if you need. You have to be creative, basically, is what I'm saying, with your time and your space. Help. Don't do this alone. You are not alone in this. You can ask for help. You can ask friends and family to jump in and help if they're willing, in that kind of aspect there. Money, I know that some people are like, but supplies, that's going to cost so much money. Not entirely true. In fact, this tub you could probably get for a couple bucks at Walmart. Tissues, we'll talk about these supplies, but most of these supplies are not expensive. But the fun thing about this is if you're willing to foster and you found a litter of kittens, or maybe you're fostering through a shelter program, they will supply you with the supplies you need. They're going to give you that. They'll give you a little carrier, unless you have a carrier. They're going to help you out. They're going to give you what you need. Plus, you get free veterinarian care when you foster these cats. So for those of you who are worried about fostering because of money, medical issues, paying for veterinarian care, most shelters and veterinarian hospitals will help you and give you that support that you need to do it. So call them. So if you find a litter of kittens somewhere and you're not doing it through a shelter program, call your local shelter. Say, look, I found this litter of kittens. I am willing to help. If you guys are, able to help me with veterinarian care and supplies, you'll be surprised. Most will help you. And then if at the very end of it all, you are not getting any support from shelters, which I really don't think a shelter would not support you in some aspect, work with your friends, work with your family. Most supplies are not too expensive. And honestly, truly, I really don't see that being an issue for shelters and veterinarian hospitals to help out. Neonatal kittens and traveling. You're like, well, I've got all the other things, but I like to go on road trips. I like to go to the doctors. I don't know. Maybe you like going to the doctors. I like going bowling. I like going, here and there. I like going to the library, whatever. You can get carriers that look like purses. As long as it's a small, safe space for a little kitten that fits in your hand, you can take them with you. Kitten Lady, I know, did a video where she brought one of her fosters to the bowling alley and was feeding it at the bowling alley. You can do it. They will travel. They're going to sleep pretty much all the time anyway. All you need is just your supplies, a comfy place for them to road trip it with you, and you're all set. I would say if you're going on a road trip someplace far away where you're not going to have, access to your normal vet that you would, join up with in case of an emergency, research veterinarians in the area just in case something happens, so you are prepared. Or maybe the vet that you're working with has supplies that you can take with you, like antibiotics, ointments, subcutaneous fluids, syringes, that kind of thing, just as a 911 situation, so first aid kit for your kitten. Or if you can't take your kitten on an unexpected trip, maybe you have to fly someplace and you're like, nope, I don't feel comfortable bringing this kitten with me on this trip. Ask a family friend to jump in and kitten sit for you while you're fostering. So again, being creative, being open to asking for help, grabbing support from friends, family, veterinarians, shelters, it's all available to you if you want it. And other pets. This is kind of the big one with your family pets. So kittens have vulnerable immune systems, and they can bring in ailments and bacteria and viruses that you may not know they have, and they bring them into your home, and you're like, I'm worried that my home cat or my dog is gonna get sick. Obviously, you want to have and make sure that you're taking precautions for your family pets. Make sure they're up to date on vaccinations. You're not gonna have your pets be interacting with your foster kittens. They shouldn't be together. They shouldn't be interacting with each other. They shouldn't necessarily need to do that. As long as they're up to date on vaccinations, should you have a little 5-week-old kitten who's very, curious and gets out and runs up and starts cuddling with your animals, make sure your pets are up to date with their vaccination, and keep them separated. If you're worried, keep them separated and quarantined during the duration of their stay. Again, and I know Zuriel, you asked this already, with the how long is it required to keep them. It's not even that long. It depends on when you get the kitten. If it's a few days old, and you want to foster it throughout the duration of their 8-week stay, all you need is a few weeks of your time, and there they go, off to their forever home. So kittens are adoptable at 8 weeks old and a healthy 2 pounds. So that's how long they stay with you. Not even long at all. And then you can take a break in between fosters, you know, mix it up, maybe break a couple of months and then foster more, that kind of thing. So anyway, so yeah, 8 weeks and 2 healthy pounds. So yeah, so those are some things to consider when wanting to foster. It's really not in the grand scheme of things a crazy thing. You don't need a lot to think about, but you do want to consider some of aspects of it. Yeah. Kitten season. So this is where we dive into some of the meat of everything. Hello, probability. Hello, Flex. Welcome in, you guys. I feel like I should go grab my coffee really quickly. I'm going to need water or something. So let me do that really quick and I'll be right back, because I'm going to need something to drink. I can feel my throat getting dry. Be right back. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so kitten season. Kitten season is, it sounds super cute. It sounds like, oh my gosh, kittens are going to be falling from the sky. And, you know, during kitten season, it really seems like that. So what is it? Kitten season is basically a period of time when cats, community cats, free roaming cats are out there and they're making babies and they're having them. And it's usually generally between March and late November, during warmer months. You will see kittens happening. Kitten season. It's not that cute. Shelters are inundated with neonatal kittens for various reasons. For those of you that are like, what are even neonatal kittens? Neonatal kittens are typically 0 days old up into a few weeks old. They are truly little baby kittens. Flex, thank you so much for the cheer. I appreciate it. And they become orphaned out from being, they're born to free roaming cats and they become orphaned. Either their mother has completely abandoned them, walked away, which does happen, or Good Samaritans find them and decide that they are in danger, and they scoop up the litter of kittens and they bring them to shelters. So shelters will be so inundated with neonatal kittens. And there's a couple of different sides of that. So I'll talk about the kitten nursery side of it, shelters that have the resources that can take care of them first. At the Arizona Humane Society last year, I think in the height of our kitten season, if I remember correctly, and my number is probably slightly off, we had at one point 95 kittens in our kitten nursery. That is a lot of kittens. But throughout the entirety of the kitten nursery, we saved 1,000 and something lives this year, which is amazing. So shelters that have the resources for these kittens. Let's talk about kidnapping. So kidnapping is when, again, Good Samaritans roll up on a litter of kittens and they're like, oh my gosh, kittens, I have to save them. And they just take them and they bring them to the shelter. Anytime you find a litter of kittens out in the open, free roaming, do not, I repeat, do not just take them and bring them to a shelter. A couple of things. Number one, you always want to wait to see if the mother is around. Most of the time, the mother is out hunting for food or she's just right around the corner. You never want to just scoop away a litter of kittens from the mother, because the mother cats always know best. Now, if you stumble upon a litter of kittens and they are actually in danger, then sure, scoop them up. Even better if you can scoop up their mom with them, because the mother cat is going to do 90% of the work. If you choose to foster and you have a mother with babies, mom with babies, foster them together. It's going to be less work for you, as the mother cat is going to feed them. Obviously, she's going to help stimulate them to go to the bathroom, and the only thing that you need to provide for them is a warm, safe place so that she can help raise her kittens. And so you did wait. So you waited several hours to see if the mama cat comes back, and she doesn't. Then go ahead, get a carrier, bring them to a shelter. I would say bring them to a shelter that can take care of the kittens if you are not willing to foster. So this is a scenario where you find them, but you cannot foster for whatever reason, and that's fine too. Please make sure that if you're bringing them to a shelter, the shelter can help accommodate them. And when I say that is because not all shelters have the resources for neonatal kittens. They require intensive around-the-clock care, and most shelters don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the people to do it, and a lot of times the litter of kittens are euthanized, and that is the sad reality of it. And that's why I'm doing what I am doing today, and that's why others are doing what we're doing this. So if you don't have a place where you can bring them and you can't foster, call the shelter. Find out, do you have someone that I can bring these kittens to? Do you have someone that I can work with to get these animals fostered? Flex, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's work with the resources that you have. Don't just give them up to the shelter, because again, like I said, they will most likely be euthanized because the shelter cannot take care of them. And that is the sad reality of it. But don't fear. I want to talk about shelter blaming for a quick second. Shelter blaming or shaming is when people are, basically, okay, so you see someone who's like, I found this stray dog, but the shelter wouldn't take them because they're full. Yeah, right. They're probably not full, blah, 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 blah. Basically blaming or shaming the shelter for not being able to help out. When I tell you guys this, shelters are a lot of times at capacity most of the time, which is why many people like myself advocate for adopting versus going and shopping for your animals. Adopt from shelters, because the more you adopt from shelters, the more space they're going to have for animals who are stray, who are out there, who are free roaming, that need to come in and crash for a little bit until they find their forever home. Work with shelters. Yes, not all shelters are perfect. Not all of them are going to follow your moral rules in terms of, being no kill. We can achieve no kill, but we have to do it together. We have to work together. Work with your shelters, volunteer, find out what resources they need, raise those resources, bring them to the shelter, help them out. You have to help them. You can't sit behind your computer and complain on social media that a shelter isn't helping you. They're literally doing everything they can to help out at all times. I know, for example, over the summer, I had a friend who found a neonatal kitten, 3 weeks old. And even our nursery was like, we're at capacity. We'll take the kitten. But is there any way they are willing to foster? We are willing to provide supplies. So you see what's kind of happening there? There's a little bit of give and take with that. So don't shelter blame. Don't bring kittens to shelters if you can help it. Help foster. Work with your resources. Help them help you. You help them help everyone else, and it all becomes amazing and beautiful. And I don't know where I'm going with my point, but I think you guys get it. So orphan kittens happen very much when people are scooping them up and take them to shelters without letting the mom be there. And yeah, if you can foster a mom and kittens, great. You're like solid. You probably don't even need to wake up that much during the night. It's like perfect. Moving on, kitten comforts. Let's get into it. So, kitten comforts. Oh, there we go. So here's my little list of supplies based off of some of the things that I have found. Also, let me go grab something really quickly. Also, turn my air conditioning up. I forgot this supply. A toothbrush. No, I'm not brushing my teeth on stream. Thank you, Flex. I appreciate that. And exactly, Terry. It's a mother cat. She's like, mama cats are the best for that. Okay, so blankets. Let's talk about our supplies here. Let me bring my chair on over. Probably gonna take this sweater off soon. So like I mentioned, kittens don't require a ton of space. You don't really need like a full room for kittens unless you want to have a kitten room and, you know, always have it be like a little mini kitten nursery in your home, just specifically to kittens. They require these little bins. So a small clear bin for a little kitten that is like the size of this Kleenex packet I bought. Literally, that's a kitten and maybe smaller. Boom. Look how much space that kitten has in here. That's tons of space. And she'll probably be sleeping in the corner or on the warmer basically the entire time. So a small clear bin. Blankets. These are like a fleece type of material. You can probably make these. I know that I got these from the animal shelter. We had so many, they were donating them to people or having people just take them for our pets. But a small, fleece blanket, something you can wash. Here's another version of that. And you just put it in here, just like this. Boom. I just like messed this all up. Put that down, put your warmer, put a blanket on top of your warmer. So it doesn't burn anybody, and then boom, there you go. You're like halfway there. A toothbrush or Snuggle Kitty is our next. Snuggle Kitty is you can get them on Amazon. They're basically like cats, like little stuffed animal cats that have artificial heartbeats in them. That is battery powered. You turn it on and it's boo, 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 boo. It mimics a mom's heartbeat, and those are great for single kittens. So if you're fostering like one kitten, I highly, 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 highly recommend getting a Snuggle Kitty with an artificial heartbeat, because most kittens come in litters, obviously, but things happen, and you may be just fostering one at a time. But Snuggle Kitty with artificial heartbeat, a toothbrush. What you do with this toothbrush, I'm just gonna use this cat nightlight that I have. You're basically mimicking grooming. The toothbrush is going to be a nice little mama cat tongue, and you're just gonna brush their little face. You can brush their little bodies and just like mimic grooming. This actually helps them learn how to groom because mama cats show them that. You have to show a cat how to be a cat. That's basically what you're doing. So there's that. So a toothbrush. I forgot the rice socks in the other room, of course, but rice socks, you guys have seen me make them. They're basically socks that don't have any sort of like metallic-y thread or anything like that. Something you can put in a microwave and warm it up. You put rice in there, tie it up, warm it for 3 minutes in the microwave, and they're such a great resource, and they don't even cost that much. Or you can get a warming pad, which is also called a Snuggle Safe. It's a little like micro fleece pouch that has a pink circular warming pad in it. You pop it in the microwave 5 minutes, and it's literally warm for hours. And then you put it back in its little micro fleece cover, put it in for the kitties, and they're warm for hours. You're gonna need bottles with nipples, and you can also get what's called a miracle nipple. It's a rubber bottle nipple. I'm trying like not to say that word too many times. It's a longer, and it's like much more tailored to the kitten. It's perfect because some kittens don't understand latching on to that. They don't know how to feed off of it, and so it can be a little bit easier for them to get a latch, which is what you want. You're going to want syringes because if you are still having issues with bottle feeding, you can syringe feed with putting the syringe into the top of the bottle, the thing, like this, what, you know, when you screw it on. Pop it in there, and then you can syringe feed the kitten. We'll talk about that in a minute. KMR formula, amazing. Never, this is where I segue into telling you guys, never feed kittens cat milk. Cat milk is actually like a milk replacer for older cats. It's not even formula. Don't feed them any kind of dairy. No cow's milk ever. Only feed them kitten formula because kitten formula has nutrients that they need to grow big and strong and have strong immune systems. So do not do that. Don't do it. And the small clear bin, as I mentioned, for kittens who are 0 days up to 3 weeks old, a playpen, a small playpen for kittens that are 4 weeks plus. Baby cat wet food. Baby cat is actually a brand. It's wet food. When they start to be weaning off of formula at about 4 weeks old, you're going to want to start to mix formula and wet food together for what's called slurry. And this is where you're going to be introducing them into this wet food. They're going to be weaning off of the bottle, and then eventually they'll swap to just eating ample wet food, and then eventually crunchy food as you see fit. A bottle warmer. So you can buy these little bottle warmers in like the baby section of Target or Walmart or something. And basically this is, you know, if you want it, it's kind of a luxury item, if you will. But you fill it with some water, you turn it on, you put your bottles in there, they warm them up, and you're golden. You're going to want Kleenex. Travel Kleenex as a supply for when you're traveling and you need little Kleenex. Baby wipes, all natural and unscented, organic preferably. I know that's like organic, but honestly, you don't want to put kitty booties are not the same as baby booties, so you're not going to want to put scented floral baby wipes on kitten booties like you would baby booties. The skin and the fur, it's just, cats have very sensitive skin. You don't want to use things that have like dyes or chemicals in them. So get all natural, unscented, organic preferably, baby wipes. You can even get a baby wipe warmer, which you take the baby wipes out of the packaging, you put them in the warmer, and it warms them if you want to do that. At the very least, if you need it, I don't recommend this unless you absolutely need to use it, but soft toilet paper, nothing rough, nothing harsh, nothing that's going to be breaking off, not Cottonelle, what is it? Charmin. It's too fibery. It's too much, but like this is Cottonelle. This would be fine as a replacement if you need it in a quick jiff. And a scale to weigh them. You gotta weigh them. You have to weigh them every time they eat, so you know what to do. You know, when they're not gaining weight, or when they are gaining weight, keep them going, that kind of thing. More supplies and necessities that you can get. You can check that out at kittenlady.org/supplies. She has an amazing list of all kinds of things. Way more big than my list here. So check it out. It's a great resource for kitten comforts. Feeding and gains. We're going to talk about feeding your kitten. So this is kind of where the work comes in. This is where you are engaged with your kitten. You are teaching her to eat. You're teaching her how to feed. You're helping her grow big and strong and get those gains. Be prepared to be patient. So many orphan neonatal kittens, they don't understand feeding from a bottle. So when we get kittens in the nursery that are fresh rescues, They may not have interacted with their mom. They may not have had that opportunity to be feeding from her. So we're basically kind of we're feeding them. And sometimes they don't get it at first. They don't understand how to latch. Be patient. Help her focus. I've seen some of people just like, even myself sometimes will get a little frustrated because it's like, come on, I need you to eat. You got to eat, baby. You have to. You need to get formula inside of you. Be patient. If it takes longer than normal, that's okay. It's all about her pace. Let your kitten guide the feeding. Always feed her in this position, belly down always, and hold the bottle at a slight 45-degree angle, as if, honestly, imagine a mama cat laying there and the baby's going to be like that. She's going to be belly down, lying out like this picture is perfect example of that. That's why I included it, with the bottle up. Basically, when you introduce the bottle to the kitten, and this is where I wish I had a little kitten to demonstrate. It's too bad Lola's crazy, or I'd make her do it. But you grab the kitten. Don't be afraid to handle them, by the way. I've seen a lot of people who are slightly afraid to handle them, and I'll be honest, when I first started, you don't realize how little and light they are until you are holding them. But trust me, they are stronger than you think. But don't be afraid to handle them. Don't be too light with them. Feel free to, grab their faces and, introduce the bottle to them. So I always start with, taking my cat, and I'll pull the head back a little bit with the ears, and I'll bring the head up into an angle. I bring my bottle to her face and introduce it into her mouth. From here, you want to make sure that she is successfully latching on. And a successful latch, you can tell as soon as you can immediately see when they do it. Their tongues will make a U shape around the nipple of the bottle. Their ears will like do little flutters, and then their eyes will be like kind of sleepy, and like you can see it in their faces. It's almost as if like a human baby, when human babies are dying and they're screaming, and as soon as they get that bottle and they're just like, oh, thank God, you can see it on their faces. So when they're latching successfully. But there will be times when your kitten is not latching successfully. She's going to be like trying to chew on it. She's going to try to she's going to be moving her head all around. She may be like trying to knead. Kittens need KNEAD when they are feeding on mama cat to stimulate the milk to come out. They're going to do that with your hands. So when you're holding the bottle and you're holding your kitten, she's going to want to put her paws on your hand. Give her a place to put them. It's totally fine. She's going to knead on you a little bit. And just be focused, just be patient, let her guide you. Some tips to feed your kitten when they are not so focused, when they're like really having a hard time with it. You can wrap them up in what I call the burrito. Basically, you take your kitten, you take a little blanket, and you wrap them up in a little burrito, like so. You're going to want it to be so that their little head is popped out and they can't get their arms. Basically, you're swaddling them. You want them to focus on what's happening, and you'll have to, you feed them that way. No worries, Terry. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great day at work. 4-day-old kitten, it's true. They'll wiggle. They will wiggle. You could also do the barbershop method, is where they're laying like this, like how that kitten is. And you wrap the blanket around them like this, like as if they're at the barber shop, if you can imagine that. And they can't get their paws out. They're just face out, and you're holding it behind them, and you're holding it so that their head's at an angle and the bottle's there too. A toothbrush, so if you're just like really struggling and they're not wanting to latch, they're not wanting to eat, take a few minutes. Take a breather, get the toothbrush out, mimic grooming, brush their little face, make them feel comfortable. You basically want them to feel comfortable. You want them to be calm and ready to feed, and then try again. Keep trying. If they are just refusing to eat for multiple feedings, maybe visit a vet. I would say not maybe, do visit a vet, because they're going to want to eat. Don't force formula rather into their mouths. Never squeeze the bottle, because it's going to shoot formula back into their throat. They could breathe it in and aspirate. If they're having a hard time getting milk out of the nipple, squeeze it slightly so that they taste the formula, and then a lot of times I've seen them latch on after, like being like, oh, this is what's happening. So really, honestly, just be patient. It's gonna take a few feedings for them to kind of get into that, into the groove of what's happening with you. And never, please, you guys, never feed a cold kitten. Kittens can't regulate their body temperature, so never feed a cold kitten. If your kitten is cold, wait a few minutes, warm them up, hold them a little bit, get them warm, their body temperature warmed up a little bit before, and then try to feed them. I'm going to jump to this little right-hand side of the screen here. J. Cole, thank you for the host. So I said kittens can't regulate their body temperature. They just can't do it. So don't feed a cold kitten. Try to warm them up first. If they're not responding to your warming techniques, you've been holding them, they're still not getting warm, they're still cold or seem hypothermic, get them to a vet immediately. You're going to want to feed your bottle baby, your kitten, until they are weaning, about 4 weeks old, or they're ready for slurry. So that is a mix of formula and wet food. And when you mix your food, you're going to want to get one of those little bottle shaker things, like the protein shaker things. You can even blend it in a blender, up to you. But you don't want clumps in the formula, because you don't want clumps in your formula. It's like eating chunky milk. Why would you drink chunky milk? Makes no sense. So shake it. You're going to want to make fresh formula every 2 feedings. You can store it in the refrigerator, but don't make a huge batch of it that's going to last you days, because you want it fresh. You don't want to give them formula that's 5 days old. Don't do that. When you're feeding them formula, you're going to warm it prior to feeding and test it on the inside of your arm. When you've got your bottle and you pinch it slightly, a little drop should drop out. Nothing should ever, just like when you squeeze it and it just spills out on your arm, then you've got the wrong kind of nipple on your bottle. Squeeze it. If it's too hot, let it cool. If it's too cold, keep warming it. Make it a comfortable, warm temperature for the kitten. You can warm the bottle in the microwave for 8 seconds, or you can use a bottle warming machine, or you can boil water, pour it in a mug, and let it put the bottle in it and let it float for about 20 seconds, and then shake the formula again just to distribute some of the heat around. If they are having trouble feeding from a bottle, this is where you can syringe feed your kitten. Basically, you're going to take the cap off of your bottle. You're going to put the syringe, put it on top of that little... Obviously, you're going to get syringes that don't have needles in them. Pop the cap off of the top of the syringe, put the bottle top on it, and then you're going to introduce the syringe to the baby. Syringe feeding is really good for kittens who are a few days old. And you can push a little bit of the formula out. When I say push, I mean very slight movement of that to introduce the formula to their tongues to get them to taste it. But then let your kitten guide you. If they latch on, they're going to pull that syringe top. It's going to go down. They're going to take care of it all for you. But do not ever squirt formula down their throat. Ever. Also, your kittens, once they start getting their teeth coming in, be careful with the rubber nipples, because if they start to chew, they're going to be, chewing on that nipple, and they can bite some of that off, tear it, and little pieces of the nipple are going to get off into them and they'll swallow them. We don't want that. So if they are starting to do that, maybe try to start introducing them to slurry. Maybe it's time for them to start weaning. Again, with feeding, Always let your kitten be your guide, because they're going to show you when they're done. They're going to show you a lot about, when they're ready for weaning, or if they're, maybe they're not interested in the bottle, but they like the syringe. So really meet your kitten halfway with feeding. I was going to say something and I just forgot what it was about the whole feeding thing, and I can't remember. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. But anyway, so there's that. Feeding your kitten. Yeah. Again, something that you should really be worried about is feeding your kitten on its back. Never, ever, ever, ever take your cat from belly down and feed it like a baby. Never do this. I see so many pictures of people feeding their kittens like a baby. They're not babies, number one. Number two, the biggest, I would say this is my number one reason why you don't do it, is they could aspirate. Aspiration occurs when formula enters the kitten's lungs. And then when this happens, you're going to notice formula will come out of their noses. So they'll like sneeze, or like wheeze, but formula will literally come out of their nose. That is how you know you are don't do that. Don't let that happen. It may happen even if you are feeding them belly down. Maybe you've squeezed the bottle too hard on accident. And then you've breathed some of that formula in and this happens. Don't freak out. Honestly, don't go, oh my gosh, I'm killing my kitten. You're not. It is going to happen, but it shouldn't happen because you're purposely feeding them on their back or you're squeezing formula into their throat. If it does happen, you can take your kitten, turn them upside down, let them kind of sneeze that out, and they should be good. If you start to notice them developing any respiratory issues because of it, seek vet care immediately. But never feed your kitten on its back. Always belly down, 45-degree angle. That's where it has me to come. Gains. Let's talk about gains. So you should weigh your kitten before and after each feeding. Why? Why should you do this? Because gaining weight is what you want your kitten to be doing. Throughout the duration of their stay, they're going to weigh very little grams, and then they're going to start to become big kitties. And you want them to be gaining weight every feeding. And you want to track it. So you're going to want to have a way to track their weight. You're going to want to write them down. So have a notebook, have a pencil or a pen ready. Every time you feed, you're going to want to weigh them. If you're noticing that your kitten is not gaining weight multiple feedings in a row, are they eating? Are they feeding every time? If they're refusing to eat for multiple feedings, seek vet care immediately. Or if they're losing weight, if you're noticing that, she was gaining weight and then all of a sudden she starts losing weight, something's up there, take them to the vet right away. So gaining weight and paying attention to their gains every time they're feeding is a great way to keep track of, is one of the great ways to keep track of how healthy your kitten is doing at the time. This is a chart that I got from kittenlady.org. I got it directly from her How to Take Care of Orphan Kittens presentation. We also use this at the Arizona Humane Society. And it is actually a very great little resource to kind of help you determine how much they need to be eating and when they eat. So kittens who are 0 days up to 1 week old, you've got how much they should weigh. They should weigh 50 to 150 grams. They need to be having 2 to 6 milliliters per feeding every 2 hours. Every 2 hours they need to be eating. And then as you can see, as they start getting older, they should be gaining weight. They should be eating more, and they're going to be eating less. So, as they grow up and get stronger, they're going to be needing you less to feed them. 5 to 8 weeks, give them ample wet food, and you're going to need to feed them every 6 hours. And then by that point, they're ready to go for their forever home. So again, you're going to only have these kittens from in between a few weeks to 8 weeks old. Up to you how you want to foster or when you want to kind of bring that kitten in. Kitten Lady also has a really great chart to assess kittens. So if you find kittens, a litter of kittens somewhere randomly, you can kind of see how old they are by what they look like. This is a great chart. I love it. It's amazing. And she also mentions to keep in mind that each kitten is going to be different. You're going to hit different milestones at different times, and that's okay. So not every kitten is going to be a teeny tiny kitten, and they're not all at specific ages and that kind of thing. So that's okay. They're going to develop differently at different times. Meet them halfway always with this. So perfect little chart. You can get that at kittenlady.org. Again, you can probably Google something like this as well to kind of help you. And yes, Ariel, these kittens are hitting the gym. They're growing big and strong. Bathroom things. So this is the fun part of the presentation here. This is where we get to talk about how to stimulate your kittens. So orphan kittens learn to go to the bathroom by being stimulated by the mother. Because they're orphaned, it's up to you to teach them how to go to the bathroom and helping them go to the bathroom by stimulating. How often should you be doing this? Prior to every feeding. Formula is going to pass through the kitten fairly quickly. So you'll be very surprised about how fast it does go through the kitten. And you should be assisting your kitten with urination and defecation before every meal. So they're not always gonna poop, but they will and should always go pee before feeding. Again, when you are helping them go to the bathroom, you're going to want to use a Kleenex, something unscented, something that does not have lotion on it, no Vicks, menthol things, something very generic, but nothing that is rough, because their skin is so sensitive, and it's so important that you're not being rough with them. You're not using things that are going to irritate their skin or their hair. When you stimulate them, you're going to take a tissue. You can do this two ways. You can hold them belly down. You can do it over a trash can if you want. If you want to do that, it's fine. But over a trash can, or I know that you can have a blanket. Like I know Kitten Lady will feed her cats and do that over the business. Anyway, it's up to you how you would do it. You can hold them laying down, belly down, or you can hold them belly up and stimulate them that way so that you can kind of see what's going on there. You can tell when they are done peeing. You can see when they're pooping and what it looks like. And that's very, very important. I know that this is probably ew to some people, but you guys should, if you're going to foster, you should be actively open and engaged in what their bathroom business looks like. It's very important to the health of your kitten. To stimulate, you're going to use a soft tissue and you're going to rub in a circular motion around their genitals. This is what their mama cat does. And no, you're not going to lick them. You're going to stimulate around. They'll start to pee. A lot of kittens, when you're stimulating them and you're holding them on their back, you're going to see when they're like, yes, that feels great. Because they're going to do they're going to be all meow, meow, and then they're going to be relaxed and doing their business. So stimulate them in a circular motion. A kitten's poop should be a healthy yellow and slightly solid. It is normal to see diarrhea in kittens when they are weaning. So diarrhea is not normal in terms of it happening often or frequently, or the kitten's in pain, that kind of thing. But if you're transitioning from formula to slurry, there will be a slight period transition with their fecal matter as well. So keep an eye on that. If it's something that lasts, way too long, not normal, is bloody, is too hard, is just soft too much, and it lingers, definitely seek veterinarian care because there may be some GI issues happening there. So just keep that in mind. Baby wipes, keep those handy to clean your kitten afterwards. I don't recommend cleaning them, like stimulating them with baby wipes, because they tend to be like super wet. Like even touching it, it's very much just, it's a lot happening there. And so, you know, you don't want their bums to get like soaked with, you know, baby wipe residue, but you want them to be clean down there. You want to keep them clean, because it's, again, their skin is very sensitive to irritations. You don't want to, if they have a lot of business back there happening, you want to clean that off. You don't want fecal matter to be building up on their bottoms. Also, you want to clean the area right above their genitals after they pee, because of urine scald, which literally burns their skin if it's left there and not cleaned off. So you really have to be engaged in this part of the fostering aspect of it. It's very important to do. Again, kittens will need to be helped going to the bathroom up until 3 weeks old. And then from there, you can actually start introducing them to the litter box. No, not a huge litter box. Nothing that they have to that they can't get in or cannot access. You can actually, we've done this at the Humane Society nursery, like empty tissue boxes, you can turn into little litter boxes for them. You can I recommend getting those the litter that are like the little pellets for them, or you can get I use with Daisy and Lola, actually, nature's, what is it, World's Best or Nature's Miracle, I can't remember, but I can link it to you guys at some point. But it's pine and it's all natural, it's wheat based, it comes great. You want to clean it after every use, of course. Give them a safe and clean place to go to the bathroom and engage with them there. You want to show them how to go to the bathroom. So stimulating them over the litter box helps. You know, of course, showing them how to dig is also a great way. So up until 3 weeks old, you really need to be only stimulating them. And then from there, they got this. You can just introduce them to the litter box and you're golden. You don't have to stimulate them that long. Again, things to look for: diarrhea that lasts way too long, bloody stool, lasting loose stool, any abnormalities that you see, and urine scald. Again, urine scald is the urine burning their skin. Take your kitten immediately to the vet if you notice any of those, and always keep an eye when you are helping them go to the bathroom. What a cute little kitty. That's so cute. Ailments. So common ailments. So kittens, again, have vulnerable immune systems. This makes them prone to health issues. So you're going to want to have a plan with your veterinarian in case things kind of happen. And they may, and they will, and they might not. I would say the most common thing that happens is GI issues. They can develop diarrhea due to parasites, stress, and have other stomach issues such as panleukopenia. Some worms can be treated with a dewormer from your vet, but keep an eye out for coccidia, tapeworm, and panleuk. Panleuk is a virus that is caused by the parvovirus. It's very serious and deadly if left untreated. And I want to quickly talk to you guys about the couple of things that I just mentioned here, because I think it's very important. And I hope everyone's enjoying the program so far. Thank you again for watching and being here. Even if you're lurking, I appreciate it. I hope that you guys are gaining some knowledge from this. So thank you for being here. Okay, coccidia. Coccidia is a parasite. It's single-celled, and it's intracellular. They must live, thank you Muffins for the chair. They must live and reproduce within an animal cell. And coccidian parasites infect the intestinal tracts of animals and are the largest group of apicomplexan protozoa. They are zoonotic, so you can get coccidia. So if you do have a foster kitten that develops coccidia, you want to always be washing your hands I recommend using gloves in case your kitten starts to develop any kind of issue. Always have gloves handy that you can wear to protect yourself, but also washing your hands. Let's see. It only infects mammals, and it infects all animals, but can only undergo sexual reproduction in cats. That is interesting to know. Some symptoms of coccidia include fever, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle pain, and nervous system effects and changes of behavior. Without being treated, it can lead to death. So again, please be careful. Wash your hands. You can contract it if you're not careful. Panleukopenia, I mentioned here, is super serious. It is caused by the feline parvovirus, which is a close relative of both type 2 canine parvovirus, and it is highly contagious. So if you do have a kitten that becomes panleukopenia positive, quarantine that kitten from your other litter mates. Kitten Lady has an amazing video that she talks about panleukopenia and how to treat it in your foster. I highly recommend you watching that video versus me telling you how to take care of your cat that gets it, but work with your veterinarian on it. Panleukopenia survival rates above 60% for kittens under 8 weeks of age are established in shelters. That's the survival rate in shelters. After testing positive for panleuk, the survival rate is as high as 74% for kittens under 8 weeks of age. And if treated, survival rates for kittens over 8 weeks and for adult cats are significantly higher than neonates. Up to 90% of cats with FP may die. Feline panleukopenia, not FP. Not RFP. And your cat will get this as part of their vaccination. So most of your cats are vaccinated already if you have cats against panleukopenia. It's part of the FPKV, part of their vaccinations that they get. Again, it's part of the feline distemper, so if they get that, you're good. Cats that get panleuk will generally have glossy eyes. They'll get muscle wasting. They will get lethargy. Take them to the vet immediately. Another thing that you should be worried about is tapeworm. Lola had tapeworm. It sucked. It was gross. It was awful. It's a parasitic worm, again, that resides in the intestines. You can contract it. So again, wash your hands. Really, the biggest way that you can tell if your cat has tapeworm is pretty much they're not eating as often. Maybe they're eating more, or they look super skinny. Their skin is not going to look right. Their fur is not going to look well. They're going to look generally they're going to be lethargic. They're not going to have energy. They're going to look tired. You'll see it in their poop as well, this is the gross part of it, but the things that come out of the poop, the little larvae, they're larvae. They're not actual worm. They're larvae. So it's gross. Get them to the vet. Upper respiratory infections, URIs. They're so common among shelters. In fact, many animals that you will adopt out of a shelter will probably come home with a URI, and you'll need antibiotics. Lola was one of those. Symptoms range, it's basically a kitty cold. So symptoms range from runny noses, sneezing, wheezing, lethargy, and discharge from the eyes. It's very contagious. Not to you. You cannot catch a kitty cold, so it's not a zoonotic infection, but your animals can catch it. And it should be treated immediately with an antibiotic. Skin issues. Kittens have very sensitive skin. Again, urine scalding can occur when urine builds up around the tummy near the genitals and it literally burns their skin. Also, another thing that you should watch for in litter of kittens is them trying to nurse off of each other. You'll notice their bums being like red and irritated. They may try to nurse on like their face or their little ears. If that starts happening and you notice them trying to nurse off of each other, separate them. And you know, if that still keeps happening even after separating and you bring them back together and you have to keep doing that, maybe work with your vet on something. I know if you're super crafty, you can crochet a little baby kitten thing to keep them from nursing from each other. And then fecal matter being built up around their bum can cause irritation. So always keep your kitten clean down there, you guys. And, you know, just be active and keep taking care of them. Fading kitten syndrome is also something you should be very concerned and keep in mind could happen. It's caused by underlying issues. So fading kitten syndrome is kind of an umbrella term for other things that may happen. If your kitten starts looking gaunt, has muscle wasting in the face, their face looks triangular, they look super frail and thin, or they're hypothermic, take them to the vet immediately. They could be having what's called failure to thrive for an underlying issue, an umbrella term, fading kitten syndrome. In case of an emergency, always work with your vet or shelter to determine necessary steps to take in the event of a kitten emergency. If you notice your kitten gasping, bleeding, they're refusing to eat for multiple feedings, they have pale gums, and you don't have dextrose, you can give them a little drop of dextrose in their mouth to boost their blood sugar. If they have extreme lethargy, muscle wasting, dehydration, and subcutaneous fluids have not helped them, you need to take them to the vet immediately. This is kind of the sad part about everything. Not all kittens are going to survive, but you have got the tools, you have got the knowledge to help them make it past any issues, and you have to have a good game plan ready, just in case of an emergency. So work with your vet on that kind of thing. Hi, Paul. Welcome in. How you doing? And another quick thing, self-care. You're the one who is helping your kitten. You guys are trudging along together. You guys are making it past all of the hard stuff. You have to remember to take care of yourself as well. Compassion fatigue is a thing. You should be aware of it. It basically is what happens when you're taking care of these neonates 24/7. You're not sleeping. You're extremely tired. You have extreme exhaustion, both mentally, both physically. Have a friend step in that can help take care of you and the kitten if you need it. Ask for help. Take breaks in between fostering litters. Don't get too hung up on, having to always foster. Take breaks. It's really, really important that you keep care of yourself and recognize when you have compassion fatigue, or maybe teach your significant others or your friends about compassion fatigue, so maybe they can recognize the signs in you if you're not recognizing it in yourself. Also, kind of to bounce off of what I just mentioned about kittens getting sick and may not making it, it's possible. You're their first lifeline. You are trying to take care of them. Things will happen. They may not make it. And you will have kittens that will pass on you. And that's okay. Don't give up. It's going to happen. Allow yourself time to grieve. I think that is the most important thing to do, to grieve. Maybe you have a plan that if this does happen, that you grieve for a day. You have a little memorial for the kitten. There's something that you're doing to recognize what happened, but then move on. And I know that it's hard to kind of say, yeah, move on, but think about it this way. The stronger that you are to take care of others, you're going to help them survive. You have more kittens that you can help pass and go and be on to their forever home. So just remember that while you are helping save lives, things will happen, and it's okay. It's going to happen, but you did everything you could. You put in a good fight, and so did your kitten. So grieve, take time for yourself, and be stronger. Always remember that to eat and drink water, get exercise, go out for walks, breathe fresh air, find support. Remember you have hobbies, do them. it's very easy to jump into kitten care and be so focused on it 24/7 that you're going to forget about things. You're going to be waking up throughout the night to feed your kittens. So you need to get rest for yourself. While it only takes a few minutes, waking up every couple of hours throughout the night for weeks on end over a long period of time will definitely do some damage to your mental and physical well-being. So always take care of yourself. And remember, it's okay to cry. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be, you're going to be exhausted. It's okay, but you have to remember to take care of yourself. Remember, you're doing an amazing job, and you're giving a kitten a full chance of life for choosing to foster. So great job. Pat yourself on the back. Remember to do that, and keep up the amazing work. It's going to be okay. So great job there. Take care of yourself as well. It's super, super, super important to always be doing that. And I can't remember what the next slide is, but I think it's my goodbye slide. So I'm going to pause there for a second and talk about volunteering. So you've made it this far in my presentation, so thank you for watching. But maybe you're still like, I'm not really interested in fostering. But I want to get involved. I want to be involved in some way. Volunteering is an amazing thing that you can also get involved in. So I volunteer. I don't foster. I can't foster right now. Number one, I live in an apartment that doesn't allow me to sneak in kitties. Number two, I have Daisy. Daisy's an elderly cat. While you can foster with elderly cats, she cannot get vaccinated. So I don't want to bring any kind of bacterial URIs, nothing into my home that may get her sick. And Lola, she's fine, whatever, she's vaccinated, but Daisy is who I'm worried about. So I volunteer, and I love it. It's amazing. My shifts at the kitten nursery are 4 hours long, and those are some hard days. And I love it. It's hard, but it's rewarding. And at the end of the day, I saved lives, you guys. Last year, I helped save kittens. I got to help kittens grow up, and now they're adopted. Now they're with their forever homes, and I helped do that. That's so freaking cool. So you can foster. Get in touch with your local shelters. Find out what programs they have that you can get involved in fostering or volunteering. And volunteering is a great option for people who may not want to foster. So if you're not interested, it's cool. Go volunteer. That's cool too. And then, so there's that. So foster. Your goal with fostering and volunteering as well, because I think it can fall in the same umbrella. I have heard so many people go, I don't know how you can do it. I would take all of those kittens home. Like, how do you even just not take them all home? And I'm just like, it's really easy. My goal is goodbye. And Kinley, this is something she also teaches too, is goodbye is the goal. Looking at it as a positive thing is very important because of foster failing, which will happen, and it is okay as well. So you're fostering. Foster failing means you fostered. Your kitten is ready to go, but you're not ready to let go. And that's okay. But at the same time, you always have to remember, if you're going to continue to foster, you're going to need to learn to say goodbye as a positive thing, so that your kitten can thrive and go into their forever home. But if you do foster fail, don't look at it as a mistake. Don't look at it as a failure. Learn from it. Know what you need to do for the next group of kittens or kitten. And move on from that. So many people will most likely fall in love with their kitten, and who wouldn't? You guys have helped raise them. They've triumphed through sickness, fatigue, middle of the night feedings, and now it's time to say goodbye. And I'm gonna get, yesterday when I was reading this out, I started tearing up, and I'm tearing up again. I can't. It makes me so happy this side. So by the time your kitten is 8 weeks old, and a healthy 2 pounds, she's actually ready to go off to her forever home. She's ready to go thrive and have a full life thanks to your care. So you've saved your life, and now it's time. You need to let go. You need to say goodbye. And you can say goodbye. And that's why you're fostering, is so you can say goodbye, so you can get her off and have a full life. Just remember that your decision to foster and work with your kitten has provided her a lifelong opportunity to live and thrive in her forever home. You've done amazing work, so let's celebrate. And you can have celebrations by having adoption parties for your kitten, where you invite your adopter over and you guys and some friends, and you guys have a little adoption party for the kitten. Or maybe you do just something to celebrate what you've done and all the hard work you've done for each of your kittens. Because, you know, while you're going to want to hang on to her and you're going to want to keep her with you forever, she deserves to go and have a healthy life in another home, not your home, so that you can open your home to more fosters and you can save more lives. So just remember that the more lives you save, the more lives you can send off, and the more you can keep bringing in to help do all of that. Thank you guys so much for being here today in the stream, in the cast. I hope that some of you guys have learned some things about fostering and how to take care of neonatal kittens. Basically, again, my goal was so that, you know, by the end of today, you guys had some kind of foundation to help take care of them should you find a litter of kittens or want to foster. A lot of my resources, again, are from kittenlady.org, and experience and self-research. And the photos that you've seen in the slideshow are from Humane Society volunteers from the 2017 year. Look at all the lives we saved, you guys. Look at those nuggets. Q&A. So, what kind of questions do you guys have? Remember, at the beginning of the cast, I said hold on to your questions or throw them in the chat, and the mods will throw them up to me. So, mods, do we have any questions from anybody? I don't know if we do, but it's okay. So, if you guys have questions, throw them at my face. Feel free to just throw them in the chat. I'm here to answer any questions that don't entail veterinarian assistant questions, because I'm not a veterinarian. Paul, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, it's I mean, most of the questions you guys probably had were very much answered throughout, which is perfect. Yeah, now is the time. Ask away. And you can ask me questions about my experience, about my research, about things. I don't know. Can you hit your landlord for not allowing pets? Legally, no. Legally, no. I would say do not do that. I guess we can talk about resources as well. Again, kittenlady.org. Getting started is a great place to help remind yourself of all these things. Again, I'm going to make this guide into an actual guide for you guys. So for anybody that wants it, really. So I'm going to kind of develop it into my own thing. And from there, take it into the world. I'm also going to try to translate it into French so I can take it to Canada with me when I finally get that way. So there's that. Hopefully I can take this show on the road and actually one day be doing this for real in places, and like having little neonatal kitten parties and having neonatals. One day I'm going to have neonatal kittens during this live stream to show you guys, and that is going to be so flippin' cute. One day. Hi, Mr. Coconuts. I'm not sure if I said hello. Thank you guys so much for being here as well. I appreciate it. And that's, I think, the end of the slide. So, all right, you guys. Well, since there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and hit it. Thank you so much again for being here today. I hope that you guys learned something, even if you're not even interested in volunteering or fostering, and you just listened to all of this. Now you have some kind of knowledge. So if someone you know walks up on kittens or is fostering and they have questions, you can help. You can bring them my way. Feel free to send me messages on Discord or on Twitter if you have questions about kittens or anything relating to kittens. I'm always open for that if you want to talk about things. I'm not a vet, so don't ask me medical things about your animals. I can't answer stuff. I mean, I can give you advice on certain little things, but I am not equipped to diagnose or treat your animals. We'll be back again tomorrow, you guys, at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for our regularly scheduled music stream. I may be working on production tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. I really want to finish up Good Old Days, so hopefully we can do that maybe tomorrow. But thank you guys again so much for listening, and I appreciate you. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it, and thank you guys. I feel like I should have come here for the Q&A, but that's okay. You can see my face. I was gonna do projector things, but it didn't work out with the angles. And I will put this on YouTube. So for those of you that missed the entirety of the stream, then I will be putting it on YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I hope to see you again soon. What, JJ? Oh my gosh. JJ, thank you so much for the resub coming in with the 8 months. I appreciate that. You guys, let's throw some love in the chat for JJ. JJ, thank you. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for being here and popping in, even if it was at the end. Unless you've just been lurking and waiting for the end of the stream. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a good one, everybody.